and because of eminent domain, but then I seen that, just the town I was in remained the same, and it was just this image that anytime I told people where I stayed, everybody had this stigma about Dumfries, and I didn't understand it because I, like most of the citizens, until recently had this apathy for what was going on, and nothing to really stimulate me to get involved. And so one of the things I learned in the Marine Corps, you either lead, follow, or you get out of the way. You're either part of the problem or you're part of the solution. So today I stand before you because I want to be that writing. There's 2 seats available. Ms. Watson's been doing a great job with the one. I just want the one writing vote if you could, because some of the things I want to do and address is, first, the community issues. I have 3 young kids myself. And some of the things I want to look at doing with the community is creating some type of program, because these kids have nothing to do, is what I see. And an idle mind is a workshop for chaos and destruction. So I want to do some productive things with the youth. Get the youth involved at an early age in learning about the political system. Maybe a youth council. Maybe something where we bring them in and they see how we're governed. I think the summer youth program was a huge success in watching some of the things those kids had to learn and go through there. Also want to create a pride of belonging to some of the citizens that's already involved, and really find some more activities like we're already doing, but to really, outreach where we're moving outside of this and we're hitting the community maybe on a monthly basis or bi-monthly basis, where we're meeting the different people in these different communities, let them know that we're here, we want to hear their feedback constantly. We know that not all the time can you make it to the meeting. And it's very challenging. I know I fell asleep watching some of those meetings on TV, so, because sometimes they were too long. But one of the solutions I look at for something like that is technology is constantly advancing. We got so much technology. Our website should be equipped where you don't have to wait and figure out what time a replay can play, but we should be able to post that video online where you'll be able to see that video whenever you wake up and just go and click and see what the meeting was about, to see how they voted on your issue. As far as the infrastructure, I looked at some of those same things. My kids belong to the Boys and Girls Club, but the sidewalk is a huge issue. I think some other ways outside of having, I think, a full-time grant writer, because grant writing is because not only do you got to get the grant money, which she did a great job of that, but you need somebody that's sitting there writing and administering that thing, and that's a full-time job. So to bring in a full-time grant writer, I think is good. But some other ideas I have for getting some of these sidewalks where we don't have to wait for grant money, I've seen in some other communities adopt a highway. Some type of sponsorship. We have enough businesses and corporations inside the town where we should be able to go to and say, hey, why don't you sponsor this sidewalk and let's get it built? Maybe a couple $1,000, and here's your sponsorship. We have it on. And every year we can rotate it out. Somebody sponsor it and we can maintain it. And this is for that type of thing. One thing I look at for recreating and rebranding our image is to really get out here and spotlight some of you who've been here as lifetime citizens. I mean, that was a great story we heard from Ms. Washington about her father being one of the first council members in Virginia, and then the story. Some of these stories need to be spotlighted on our website, or spotlighted on YouTube, where people can learn about the rich history that we have, and they can actually rediscover how great Dumfries is, not for some of the bad stories. I mean, it was tragic to see that, even that our district was changed from the Dumfries district to the Potomac district for the very reason that people didn't want to be identified, associated with Dumfries. And I think we should have this pride of belonging and wanting to be a part of our community. I mean, that's some of the things. And so, communication issues, I think we want to definitely be transparent. I think we can create I think everybody has email. We can create email newsletters. We can have video newsletters where you can constantly hear and have communication, where if you want to get feedback right away, there's feedback. And I know we see that. And so those are some of the things I want to do. My vision for the town is really simple. It's just to build a thriving downtown community where people all around the area have a reason and they want to come see what's done. They want to see what's all that exciting. We're creating so much curiosity and so much energy that this is now the go-to place. So, any questions?
No question, but I'll make a comment there. You're absolutely right about people not wanting to use the name Dumfries. That brought to mind, we just had a similar situation with Southbridge. I don't know if anyone here lives Southbridge, but it came through the school system that the homeowners association in Southbridge wanted the address for Swan Creek School, the address to be Southbridge as the name of the town, not Dumfries. And the post office had already approved that before we had any discussion about it, and it got approved because that area didn't want to be called Dumfries.
With
That's
Montclair.
what I mean.
You know what, I'm sorry, I live in Montclair, and I, to this day, still put Dumfries down because, that's what it is, and that's what most of the people know that. And do you know, I do not know one person that lives in Montclair that I know, obviously I don't know everybody, that has ever complained about, being called Dumfries. And so it just, and people tell me this all the time, oh, well, Montclair doesn't want to be known as Dumfries. And I'm sitting there going, huh? I live there. Nobody, so maybe
It's Woodbridge and Westminster. Well, I'll tell you something about that too. There was on Jeopardy several years ago, even before Montclair got a post office and a zip code. That a man was on Jeopardy, and he was from Montclair, Virginia.
Oh, really?
He didn't say Dumfries, he said Montclair, Virginia.
Well, if you notice, Four Seasons does not list, if you see an ad in the top, Washington Post for Four Seasons, it won't say located Dumfries, Virginia. It says located in historic Virginia. I never knew there was a town named historic. I noticed it sometimes. It does not have Dumfries, it has historic.
One more example was Harley Davidson when they started in over here. Harley Davidson of Quantico, Virginia. They're right next to the post office.
But, the holiday is,
So I want to definitely create that pride of belonging back and really create that image. And we can drive the information that we put out for this town to create that image.
Zoning administrators wouldn't allow that.
actually, a few years back, there was a thing on the computer, and it was talking about Dumfries, and they said, but where's Dumfries? And so I wrote back on the computer and said, explained that Dumfries was the oldest town in the state of Virginia. And many people wrote back and said, I didn't know that. They were very interested in that. I'm sorry, I'm talking too much.
Let me also make a comment, real quick comment. I do think one of the things that our mayor's been doing, and when Ms. Washington, I know she's aware of it because we've been getting the memos. A lot of the local newspapers, they identify negative activities, like they got robbed in Wood in the Stone Bridge, wherever it is, they put that as Dumfries. 7-Eleven got robbed down here on 234, they put that as Dumfries. And our mayor has been challenging these newspapers in the area to correctly identify these communities. You don't want to associate with us for the positive things we do, but don't be associating us with the negative things we do. So I want to applaud our mayor for addressing that on every occasion.
But I think that started with Dorothea and Michelle. They're the ones that really started pushing for that.
Now sometimes
Just saying that what our mayor is
they
doing.
near Dumfries.
You said near,
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Continue on.
He was just Dumfries.
But they're the ones that really started.